25 black celebrities who have changed so much we can't recognize today. Some of these celebrities were once instantly recognizable to millions, but today, many fans can barely believe how different they look. From life-threatening illnesses and devastating accidents to cosmetic transformations and shocking health battles, these stars experienced changes so dramatic that the internet still debates them years later. But the biggest surprise is this. Not every transformation was caused by vanity. Some were caused by pain, trauma, survival, or pressure hidden behind fame. In this video, Black Celebrity Secrets uncovers the real stories behind the faces that changed the most. And the truth is far deeper than social media rumors. Stay until the end because one celebrity's transformation became so extreme that fans thought they were looking at a completely different person. And while watching, tell us in the comments, which celebrity transformation shocked you the most? Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson's transformation remains one of the most discussed in entertainment history. Not because of gossip alone, but because the change happened in front of the entire world. In the early years, Michael was the bright-faced child star of the Jackson 5, full of energy, with a warm smile and natural features that made him instantly recognizable. But as he moved from Motown prodigy to the king of pop, his appearance began changing just as dramatically as his career. By the 1980s, Michael was no longer just a singer. He was a global phenomenon. Thriller became the best-selling album of all time. His videos reshaped pop culture, and his performances set a standard few artists could ever reach. Yet while his fame grew larger, the public also began noticing his skin becoming lighter and his facial features becoming more defined. Michael later explained that he had vitiligo, a skin condition that causes loss of pigmentation. This was confirmed after his death. He also acknowledged having cosmetic surgery on his nose, though speculation about other procedures followed him for decades. What made Michael's transformation so powerful was the contrast. The world remembered the young performer with dark skin and soft features, then watched him evolve into a pale, carefully styled, almost otherworldly figure. Every public appearance became a conversation. Every photo sparked debate. But behind the visual change was a man under relentless pressure. Fame since childhood, intense media judgment, health issues, and an impossible standard of perfection. Michael Jackson's transformation was not simply about appearance. It became a symbol of how fame can reshape a person physically, emotionally, and publicly. Whether people saw mystery, pain, reinvention, or tragedy, one thing is undeniable. No celebrity transformation has ever fascinated the world quite like Michael Jackson's. Lil' Kim. Lil' Kim entered hip-hop as a fearless original. In the 1990s, she was bold, stylish, provocative, and completely unforgettable. With Junior Mafi and later as a solo artist, she helped redefine what a female rapper could look and sound like. Her image was fierce, colorful wigs, designer outfits, confident poses, and a face fans instantly recognized. But over the years, Lil' Kim's appearance changed so dramatically that many people could barely connect her newer image to the young rapper who first shook the industry. Unlike many celebrity transformation stories built only on rumors, Lil' Kim has spoken openly about painful experiences that affected how she saw herself. She has discussed being in abusive relationships and feeling deeply insecure about her looks after years of criticism. In interviews, she said people around her made hurtful comments about her features and skin tone, which contributed to her struggles with self-image. Those words matter because they show that her transformation was not just cosmetic, it was emotional. As the years passed, fans noticed changes in her nose, cheeks, lips, complexion, and overall facial structure. Public discussion became intense, sometimes cruel. Instead of focusing only on her music, headlines often reduced her to before and after photos. That attention created an even harsher spotlight around a woman who had already spent years fighting judgment in a male-dominated industry. What makes Lil' Kim's story compelling is not simply that she changed. Many celebrities change. The deeper story is why people reacted so strongly. Her transformation became a conversation about beauty standards, colorism, trauma, fame, and the pressure placed on Black women in entertainment. Lil' Kim remains a hip-hop pioneer, no matter how different she looks today. Her journey reminds viewers that a changed face can hide a much deeper story, one shaped by fame, pain, survival, and the search for control in a world that never stopped watching. Missy Elliott. Missy Elliott never needed to look like anyone else to dominate music. From the moment she appeared in the late 1990s, she stood out because of her creativity, futuristic visuals, and unmistakable sound. While many artists followed trends, Missy built her own universe. Videos like The Rain, Supa Dupa Fly, and Get Your Freak On turned her into one of the most innovative figures in hip-hop history. Her oversized outfits, bold confidence, and energetic performances became part of her identity. But years later, fans were stunned when her appearance changed dramatically almost overnight. For a long time, rumors surrounded Missy's sudden weight loss and disappearance from the spotlight. Then, in 2011, she publicly revealed the truth. She had been battling Graves' disease, an autoimmune disorder affecting the thyroid. The condition caused serious symptoms including tremors, hair loss, bulging eyes, rapid weight changes, and extreme exhaustion. At one point, the illness became so severe that she struggled with simple daily activities and feared it could end her career completely. As treatment progressed, Missy's appearance transformed significantly. The fuller figure people associated with her early fame became much slimmer, and fans immediately noticed the difference whenever she returned publicly. But unlike many celebrity transformations driven by cosmetic trends, Missy's change came from a difficult medical battle she could not control. What makes her story so powerful is the way she handled it. Instead of allowing the disease to define her, Missy fought quietly, rebuilt her health, and returned to music stronger than before. She continued creating, performing, and inspiring a younger generation of artists who view her as one of the greatest innovators in hip-hop history. Missy Elliott's transformation shocked people because it reminded audiences that even larger-than-life entertainers can face invisible health struggles behind the scenes. Yet rather than becoming a tragedy, her story evolved into something far more inspiring, proof that resilience, creativity, and self-confidence can survive even during the darkest periods of physical change. Jada Pinkett Smith. Jada Pinkett Smith spent decades representing confidence, elegance, and strength in Hollywood. Whether acting in films, hosting conversations online, or appearing beside one of the world's biggest movie stars, she built an image associated with beauty and self-assurance. For years, her thick hair and polished style became part of that public identity. Then suddenly, fans noticed a dramatic change that sparked worldwide discussion. In 2018, Jada revealed that she had been suffering from alopecia, a condition that causes hair loss. She described the experience as emotionally devastating, admitting there were moments when handfuls of hair fell out unexpectedly, leaving her frightened and confused. For someone constantly photographed and judged in public, the emotional impact was enormous. At first, she tried hiding the condition through hairstyles and head coverings, but eventually the loss became impossible to conceal. Then came the moment that transformed public perception completely. Instead of continuing to hide her condition, Jada shaved her head and embraced the look openly. The transformation was striking. The glamorous Hollywood image people had known for years was replaced by something more raw, direct, and fearless. Rather than weakening her public image, the decision unexpectedly made many people admire her even more. Her appearance became a major cultural conversation, especially after the infamous moment at the 2022 Academy Awards when a joke about her shaved head triggered one of the most shocking incidents in live television history. Overnight, millions who knew little about alopecia suddenly began discussing the condition around the world. What makes Jada Pinkett Smith's transformation resonate emotionally is that it was not driven by vanity or trend chasing. It came from vulnerability, health struggles, and ultimately, acceptance. In an industry obsessed with perfection, she publicly confronted a condition many women suffer from privately. Jada's story stands out because she transformed something painful into a symbol of confidence. Her shaved head no longer represented loss. Instead, it became a statement about resilience, self-respect, and refusing to let public expectations define personal worth. Kanye West. Kanye West's transformation has been one of the most dramatic and unpredictable evolutions in modern celebrity culture. In the early 2000s, Kanye entered the music industry as an ambitious producer with a confident smile, a clean-cut style, and a reputation for creative genius. After producing hits for Jay-Z and releasing The College Dropout, he quickly became one of the biggest names in hip-hop. Fans admired his honesty, humor, and emotional openness. But over time, both his appearance and public behavior changed so drastically that many people began asking the same question: what happened to Kanye West? Part of that transformation began after a near-fatal car accident in 2002. Kanye fell asleep while driving and suffered a severely fractured jaw that required reconstructive surgery. The incident permanently changed parts of his facial structure and later inspired his breakthrough song, "Through the Wire," recorded while his jaw was still wired shut. That moment launched his career, but it also marked the beginning of a life lived under non-stop public pressure. As the years passed, Kanye's image evolved repeatedly. He shifted from colorful polo shirts and backpacks to futuristic fashion, oversized silhouettes, masks, and shaved hairstyles. Physically, fans noticed changes in his weight, facial appearance, and expressions over different periods of his career. Emotionally, the changes became even more visible. Public controversies, highly emotional interviews, and unpredictable social media behavior increasingly overshadowed the music that once defined him. Kanye has also spoken publicly about being diagnosed with bipolar disorder, though his relationship with treatment and medication has often appeared complicated. Combined with fame, grief, divorce, and constant media attention, his struggles unfolded in front of millions. What makes Kanye West's transformation so fascinating is that it happened publicly in real time. Audiences watched a once relatable producer evolve into one of the most controversial figures in entertainment. Some people see genius, others see instability. But almost everyone agrees that Kanye today looks and feels completely different from the artist who first appeared 2 decades ago. Nicki Minaj. When Nicki Minaj first entered mainstream music, she immediately stood out from everyone else in hip-hop. Her animated flow, colorful wigs, theatrical outfits, and explosive personality turned her into a global superstar within just a few years. Songs like Super Bass, Starships, and Moment for Life made her one of the most successful female rappers of all time. But alongside the music, fans became increasingly focused on something else: her dramatic physical transformation. In her early career, Nicki appeared with a softer, more natural look compared to the hyper-stylized image that later defined her public persona. As her fame exploded during the 2000s, her appearance evolved rapidly. Curvier proportions, sharper facial features, fuller lips, dramatic makeup, and constantly changing hairstyles made her look noticeably different from the rapper audiences first discovered. Public speculation about cosmetic procedures followed her for years, especially regarding body enhancements and facial changes. Unlike some celebrities who avoided the conversation entirely, Nicki often addressed the scrutiny indirectly through interviews and lyrics, making it clear that she viewed image as part of performance and power in the entertainment industry. Her visual reinvention became closely tied to her dominance in rap culture, fashion, and social media. What made Nicki Minaj's transformation so attention-grabbing was not just the surgeries people speculated about. It was the scale of the reinvention itself. She transformed from a rising Queens rapper into a larger-than-life global brand. Every appearance became bolder, more polished, and more theatrical than the last. Fans debated whether the changes reflected empowerment, industry pressure, personal choice, or all three at once. Despite endless public discussion about her looks, Nicki's influence never faded. She continued breaking records, selling out tours, and shaping an entire generation of female rap artists. Her story remains compelling because it reflects how modern celebrity culture often turns appearance into part of the performance itself. Nicki Minaj did not simply change her look. She rebuilt her image into something impossible to ignore. And whether people admired it or questioned it, they kept watching. Cardi B. Before global fame, Cardi B was known as a loud, funny, and unapologetically honest young woman from the Bronx trying to escape poverty. Long before Grammy Awards, luxury fashion campaigns, and chart-topping singles, she openly talked about working as a stripper to survive and support herself. That raw honesty became part of her identity, and it also made her transformation one of the most talked-about celebrity reinventions of the last decade. When Cardi first appeared on social media and reality television, her look was far simpler than the glamorous superstar image fans recognize today. But as her career exploded with hits like Bodak Yellow, I Like It, and WAP, her appearance evolved dramatically alongside her success. Cardi openly admitted to cosmetic procedures, including breast augmentation, liposuction, and butt injections early in her rise to fame. Unlike many celebrities who avoid the topic, she spoke bluntly about wanting to enhance her body to match the confidence and image she envisioned for herself. Over the years, fans noticed major changes not only in her figure, but also in her facial features, fashion style, makeup, and overall presentation. Red carpet appearances turned more extravagant, hairstyles became more experimental, and her transformation quickly became a constant topic online. Some praised her honesty and self-confidence, while others criticized the pressure modern fame places on women to constantly reinvent themselves physically. What makes Cardi B's story especially compelling is how transparent she has remained through it all. She never tried to present herself as naturally perfect or untouched by surgery rumors. Instead, she treated her appearance as something she actively controlled, shaped, and upgraded as her status grew larger. At the same time, her journey reflects a larger reality inside celebrity culture. Audiences are fascinated by transformation, especially when it happens publicly and rapidly. Cardi went from internet personality to international icon in only a few years, and her changing appearance became part of that rise. Whether people admire her evolution or debate it endlessly online, one thing is undeniable. Cardi B transformed herself into one of the most visually recognizable celebrities of her generation, and the world has not stopped watching since. Tracy Morgan. Tracy Morgan built his career by making people laugh. With his unpredictable humor, loud personality, and unforgettable performances on Saturday Night Live and 30 Rock, he became one of the most recognizable comedians in America. For years, audiences knew Tracy as energetic, expressive, and constantly smiling. But in 2014, everything changed after one horrifying night that nearly ended his life forever. On June 7, 2014, Tracy Morgan was traveling on the New Jersey Turnpike when a Walmart truck slammed into his limousine at high speed. The collision killed comedian James McNair and left Tracy critically injured. He suffered traumatic brain injuries, broken ribs, a broken leg, and severe physical trauma that required months of hospitalization and rehabilitation. For a period of time, many people were unsure whether he would ever fully recover. When Tracy finally returned to public appearances, fans immediately noticed how different he looked. The once carefree comedian now carried visible signs of pain and exhaustion. His face appeared altered by injury and recovery. His speech occasionally seemed slower, and his movements reflected the long physical battle he had endured. More than just appearance, his entire energy felt transformed by the trauma. What makes Tracy Morgan's story especially emotional is that his transformation was not driven by vanity, fame, or cosmetic surgery. It came from survival. Every scar and physical change became evidence of a man fighting his way back from an accident that could easily have taken his life. Even after returning to comedy and television, Tracy admitted publicly that recovery was emotionally overwhelming. Brain trauma affected memory, emotions, and everyday life in ways audiences could not fully see from the outside. Yet instead of disappearing, Tracy Morgan rebuilt himself publicly in front of millions. His story resonates because it shows how quickly life can change in a single moment. One night transformed one of television's most recognizable comedians forever. Not just physically, but emotionally and psychologically as well. Wendy Williams. For years, Wendy Williams was one of the most recognizable faces on daytime television. With her sharp opinions, fearless celebrity gossip, and unforgettable catchphrases, she built an empire around confidence and controversy. Audiences tuned in daily not just for entertainment, but because Wendy always seemed larger than life. Bold voice, glamorous appearance, and non-stop energy. But behind the cameras, her health was quietly changing in ways viewers could not fully understand. Long before fans noticed dramatic differences in her appearance, Wendy had been battling Graves' disease, an autoimmune disorder that affects the thyroid. The condition can cause fatigue, anxiety, rapid weight fluctuations, swelling, and one of its most recognizable symptoms, enlarged, protruding eyes. Over time, viewers began noticing visible changes during television appearances. Her face sometimes looked swollen, her eyes appeared more pronounced, and her energy shifted noticeably from the confident host people remembered from earlier years. As her health struggles intensified, public concern grew. In later years, Wendy also faced complications related to lymphedema and cognitive health issues that reportedly affected her daily functioning. The woman once known for dominating live television suddenly appeared fragile and exhausted in public sightings that shocked longtime fans. What made Wendy Williams' transformation especially emotional was how public it became. Unlike celebrities who quietly disappear from the spotlight during illness, Wendy's career unfolded live in front of millions. Audiences watched her physical changes happen gradually over time, while rumors spread constantly online. Some people mocked her appearance, while others recognized that something far more serious was happening behind the scenes. Despite everything, Wendy remained culturally influential because she changed entertainment television forever. Her style of celebrity commentary shaped an entire generation of media personalities and internet gossip culture. Today, Wendy Williams' story feels less like tabloid drama and more like a reminder of how quickly health struggles can transform even the strongest public personalities. The confident woman who once controlled every conversation became someone the public barely recognized anymore. Not because she lost relevance, but because illness slowly changed the life audiences thought they knew so well. 50 Cent. Before becoming one of hip-hop's biggest stars, 50 Cent already looked like someone built for survival. With his muscular frame, confident stare, and aggressive energy, he quickly became one of rap's most recognizable figures after releasing Get Rich or Die Tryin' in 2003. His image was tied directly to toughness, street credibility, and physical strength. But long before worldwide fame, one violent moment permanently changed both his appearance and his life. On May 24, 2000, 50 Cent, born Curtis Jackson, was shot 9 times outside his grandmother's house in Queens, New York. Bullets struck his legs, hand, chest, and face, leaving him critically injured. One shot entered through his left cheek and exited through his jaw, causing severe facial damage that required extensive recovery. The injuries permanently altered his appearance and voice, giving him the slightly slurred speech that later became one of his signature traits in music. What shocked many people was not only that he survived, but how dramatically he transformed afterward. Instead of disappearing, 50 Cent turned the attack into part of his identity. His scars, altered facial structure, and deeper voice became symbols of resilience rather than weakness. Fans viewed him less as a celebrity and more as someone who had physically survived something unimaginable. Years later, another transformation surprised audiences again. In 2010, photos of 50 Cent appearing extremely thin went viral online. Many people feared he was seriously ill, but the dramatic weight loss was actually for a movie role in All Things Fall Apart, where he portrayed a football player battling cancer. He reportedly lost over 24 kilograms in just a few months through an extreme diet and intense physical preparation. What makes 50 Cent's transformation story so compelling is that every physical change reflected survival, discipline, or reinvention. Whether recovering from gun violence or reshaping his body for acting, his appearance evolved alongside his career. Unlike many celebrity transformations linked to vanity or cosmetic trends, 50 Cent's story feels raw and physical, a reminder that trauma can leave permanent marks, but those marks can also become part of a person's power. Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman became a global symbol of strength after portraying Black Panther, one of the most iconic superheroes in modern cinema. With his commanding presence, disciplined physique, and calm confidence, he looked almost unstoppable on screen. Millions admired him not only for his performances, but for the dignity and power he brought to every role. That is why the transformation audiences witnessed in his final years became so shocking and heartbreaking. Before worldwide fame, Chadwick had already built a reputation for portraying legendary black figures, including Jackie Robinson, James Brown, and Thurgood Marshall. But after Black Panther became a cultural phenomenon in 2018, his status exploded internationally. Fans saw him as the embodiment of strength and resilience. Behind the scenes, however, Chadwick was secretly fighting colon cancer, a battle he never publicly revealed during his lifetime. Diagnosed in 2016, Chadwick continued filming physically demanding movies while undergoing surgeries and chemotherapy treatments. Over time, fans began noticing dramatic changes in his appearance. His once muscular frame became increasingly thin, his face appeared gaunt, and his energy looked noticeably different during public appearances and social media videos. At first, many people online mocked or questioned his appearance, unaware that he was privately enduring one of the most difficult battles imaginable. What made Chadwick's transformation especially emotional was the silence surrounding it. Unlike many celebrities who publicly document illness, he chose to protect his privacy while continuing to work relentlessly. During the years he appeared physically weaker, he was still filming major movies, visiting sick children, and carrying enormous professional pressure without revealing the truth. On August 28, 2020, Chadwick Boseman died at age 43 after a 4-year battle with colon cancer. The news stunned the world because almost no one outside his inner circle knew how serious his condition had become. His transformation remains unforgettable because audiences later realized they had been watching a man fight for his life while continuing to inspire millions. Chadwick Boseman did not simply change physically. He revealed a level of quiet strength that transformed the way many people understood courage itself. Toni Braxton. Toni Braxton rose to fame in the 1990s with one of the most recognizable voices in R&B history. Songs like Unbreak My Heart, Breathe Again, and another sad love song turned her into a global superstar known for elegance, beauty, and emotional depth. With her sharp cheekbones, husky voice, and glamorous image, Toni became one of the defining faces of modern soul music. But over the years, fans noticed dramatic changes in both her appearance and energy, as serious health struggles began affecting her life behind the scenes. In 2008, Toni publicly revealed that she had been diagnosed with lupus, an autoimmune disease capable of attacking different parts of the body and causing chronic pain, fatigue, inflammation, and physical exhaustion. The condition forced her to cancel performances and spend time recovering while trying to maintain her career. Over time, viewers noticed weight fluctuations, facial changes, and visible signs of fatigue during interviews and television appearances. Unlike exaggerated internet rumors, Toni's transformation was not about sudden vanity or shocking surgery scandals. Much of it reflected the physical reality of living with a long-term illness while remaining in the public eye. Years of stress, health complications, and non-stop performance schedules gradually changed the polished image fans remembered from her early career. At the same time, Toni continued evolving stylistically. Different hairstyles, makeup choices, cosmetic enhancements, and fashion reinventions also contributed to her changing appearance over the decades. Some fans admired the reinvention, while others struggled to recognize the woman who once dominated music videos and award shows in the 1990s. What makes Toni Braxton's story emotionally compelling is the contrast between vulnerability and perseverance. While her songs often centered around heartbreak and emotional survival, she was quietly fighting physical battles in real life as well. Despite illness, career setbacks, and constant public scrutiny, Toni never disappeared. She continued recording music, performing, acting, and speaking openly about lupus awareness. Her transformation tells a deeper story than appearance alone. It reflects survival inside an industry where celebrities are constantly expected to look flawless, even while privately enduring pain the public rarely sees. T-Boz. T-Boz, born Tion Watkins, became one of the defining voices of the 1990s as a member of TLC, one of the best-selling girl groups in music history. With hits like No Scrubs, Waterfalls, and Creep, TLC dominated radio, fashion, and pop culture. T-Boz stood out instantly because of her distinctive deep voice, cool confidence, and effortless style. On stage, she looked fearless and full of energy. But behind the fame, she was fighting a painful disease that threatened both her career and her life. At just 7 years old, T-Boz was diagnosed with sickle cell disease, a serious genetic blood disorder that causes chronic pain, fatigue, organ complications, and repeated medical emergencies. During the height of TLC's success, very few fans realized how severe her condition truly was. While performing sold-out concerts and filming music videos, she was often dealing with extreme physical pain behind the scenes. As the years passed, the illness began affecting her appearance and overall health more visibly. T-Boz experienced dramatic weight fluctuations, exhaustion, hair loss, and physical weakness during certain periods of her life. There were moments when hospitalization interrupted her career completely. Doctors once warned that her condition had become life-threatening, especially after she later developed a brain tumor that required surgery. What makes T-Boz's transformation especially emotional is the contrast between the image fans saw publicly and the reality she faced privately. TLC represented youth, energy, and empowerment. Yet behind that image was a woman constantly battling a disease that could not be cured. Even during periods when her appearance changed noticeably, she continued performing and appearing publicly instead of hiding from the spotlight. Over time, T-Boz transformed from a pop icon into a symbol of resilience for people living with chronic illness. Her story resonates deeply because her physical changes were never about chasing trends or cosmetic reinvention. They reflected survival. Today, fans still admire T-Boz not only for her music, but for the strength she showed while enduring decades of health struggles most people around her never fully understood. Her journey proves that sometimes the strongest people are the ones quietly fighting battles no audience can see. Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor changed comedy forever. Before him, stand-up comedy rarely felt as raw, fearless, and brutally honest as the performances he delivered during the 1970s and 1980s. Pryor transformed personal pain, addiction, racism, and trauma into material that made audiences laugh while also confronting uncomfortable truths. His energy on stage was explosive, unpredictable, and alive. That is why the physical transformation people witnessed later in his life became so heartbreaking to watch. At the peak of his career, Richard Pryor was known for his fast movements, animated facial expressions, and unstoppable presence. But years of substance abuse, health problems, and one horrifying accident gradually took a devastating toll on his body. In 1980, Pryor suffered severe burns after accidentally setting himself on fire during a drug-related incident involving freebase cocaine. The shocking event became one of the most infamous moments in celebrity history and left permanent physical scars. Even after surviving addiction and returning to comedy, another battle awaited him. In 1986, Richard Pryor was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, a degenerative neurological disease that slowly damaged his mobility and muscle control. Over time, audiences watched his appearance change dramatically. The energetic comedian who once dominated stages with explosive movement gradually became thinner, weaker, and physically limited. By the 1990s, Pryor often appeared frail in public, struggling to walk or speak clearly. His facial expressions became less animated, and the disease slowly stripped away many of the physical traits audiences associated with his legendary performances. For longtime fans, the transformation was deeply emotional because they remembered the unstoppable force he once seemed to be. What makes Richard Pryor's story so powerful is that his physical decline never erased his influence. Even while battling illness, he remained one of the most respected figures in entertainment history. Younger comedians continued calling him the greatest of all time because of how honestly he spoke about pain, addiction, and survival. Richard Pryor's transformation was not simply about appearance. It became the visible story of a man who lived intensely, suffered publicly, and continued fighting long after his body began failing him. Sammy Sosa. During the late 1990s, Sammy Sosa was one of the biggest stars in sports. With his explosive home runs, joyful personality, and unforgettable rivalry with Mark McGwire, he helped revive Major League Baseball during an era when the sport desperately needed excitement. Fans recognized him instantly. Muscular build, bright smile, confident swagger, and his dark complexion became part of his global image. That is why the public reaction was so intense when Sammy Sosa appeared years later looking almost completely different. After retiring from baseball in 2009, photos of Sosa began circulating online showing dramatically lighter skin. The transformation shocked fans around the world because many people could barely recognize him anymore. Questions exploded across television, magazines, and social media. Had he changed his appearance intentionally? Was there a medical explanation? Or was it something deeper tied to celebrity image and personal identity? Eventually, Sammy acknowledged using skin lightening products, explaining that he used a cosmetic cream that affected his complexion. He insisted the change was not about rejecting his identity, but the explanation only intensified public debate. As the years passed, his appearance continued evolving through lighter skin tone, changing hairstyles, sharper facial features, and a much slimmer frame compared to his playing days. What made Sammy Sosa's transformation especially controversial was the emotional reaction surrounding it. Many fans felt shocked seeing a sports hero they grew up watching suddenly appear almost unrecognizable. Others argued that public criticism crossed personal boundaries because appearance is ultimately an individual choice. Beyond the conversation itself, Sammy's story also reflected a larger cultural issue involving beauty standards, skin tone, and public pressure. Unlike athletes remembered only for statistics, Sosa became part of an international discussion about identity and self-image long after his baseball career ended. Today, his transformation remains one of the most talked-about celebrity appearance changes ever seen in sports. Yet despite the controversy, Sammy Sosa's baseball legacy remains undeniable. The home runs, the excitement, and the history he helped create cannot be erased, even if the face fans remember from the 1990s looks dramatically different today. Al Roker. For decades, Al Roker was one of the most familiar and comforting faces on American television. As the longtime weather anchor on Today, he became known for his warm personality, humor, and upbeat energy. Audiences watched him every morning for years, and his larger physique became part of the image people associated with him. But in the early 2000s, Al Roker underwent a transformation so dramatic that many viewers barely recognized him afterward. At his heaviest, Roker reportedly weighed more than 150 kilograms and faced serious health risks linked to obesity. In 2002, he decided to undergo gastric bypass surgery after years of struggling with weight and pressure surrounding his health. The decision changed his life completely. Within months, he lost a massive amount of weight, and the physical difference stunned television audiences nationwide. His face became thinner, his body dramatically smaller, and even longtime viewers were shocked by how different he looked on screen. Rapid weight loss also affected his skin and facial structure, creating a noticeably more gaunt appearance compared to the cheerful image audiences had known for years. What makes Al Roker's transformation especially compelling is that it was not driven by vanity or Hollywood beauty standards. It was fundamentally about survival and health. Over time, Roker spoke honestly about the emotional side of weight loss, admitting that changing physically did not automatically erase years of personal struggle connected to food, self-image, and discipline. In later years, he continued facing additional health challenges, including surgeries and serious medical complications that occasionally kept him away from television. Yet despite everything, Al remained remarkably open with the public about his experiences, which only strengthened audiences' connection to him. Unlike celebrity transformations built around scandal or cosmetic obsession, Al Roker's story resonated because viewers watched a familiar public figure fight to improve his life in real time. His transformation reminded many people that dramatic physical change often carries emotional and psychological battles the public cannot immediately see, even when the result appears positive from the outside. Anthony Anderson. Anthony Anderson built his career on charisma, humor, and an unmistakable screen presence. Whether starring in sitcoms, hosting television shows, or appearing in major films, he became known as the funny, energetic guy who always seemed full of life. For years, audiences associated him with a larger physique and a confident personality that made him instantly recognizable in Hollywood. But behind the scenes, Anthony was fighting a serious health condition that eventually forced him to transform his lifestyle completely. Anthony Anderson has openly discussed living with type 2 diabetes, a disease he was diagnosed with as a young adult. At first, like many people dealing with long-term health conditions, he struggled to fully manage it while balancing career demands, stress, and everyday habits. Over time, however, the reality became impossible to ignore. Concerns about weight, energy levels, and long-term health risks pushed him toward a major personal change. As the years passed, fans began noticing dramatic differences in his appearance. Anthony lost a significant amount of weight, his face became leaner, and his body looked noticeably slimmer compared to the image people remembered from earlier television roles. Public appearances sparked conversations online because the transformation happened gradually but powerfully enough that some viewers barely recognized him. What makes Anthony Anderson's transformation especially compelling is that it was rooted in discipline rather than cosmetic reinvention. Through changes in diet, exercise, and medical management, he committed himself to improving his health while continuing to work in one of the most demanding industries in entertainment. At the same time, Anthony never tried presenting the process as easy. He spoke honestly about the challenges of living with diabetes and the importance of taking health seriously, particularly within communities where the disease affects millions of people. That openness gave his transformation emotional depth beyond appearance alone. Today, Anthony Anderson's story stands as a reminder that physical transformation is often connected to survival and long-term health rather than image. The familiar comedian audiences grew up watching still exists, but the healthier and more disciplined version fans see now reflects years of effort, awareness, and determination behind the scenes. Gabourey Sidibe. When Gabourey Sidibe burst onto the Hollywood scene in Precious in 2009, she instantly became one of the most talked-about actresses in the world. Her performance earned critical acclaim, award nominations, and international attention almost overnight. But alongside praise for her acting came relentless public discussion about her body size, something she faced throughout much of her career. Unlike many celebrities, Gabourey confronted those conversations openly instead of hiding from them. For years, she became a symbol of confidence and body positivity in an industry obsessed with unrealistic beauty standards. Fans admired her humor, honesty, and refusal to let public criticism silence her. But behind the scenes, health concerns eventually forced her to make a deeply personal decision that dramatically changed her appearance. After being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, Gabourey chose to undergo bariatric weight loss surgery in 2016. She later explained that the decision was not about fitting Hollywood expectations or chasing public approval. It was about protecting her health and improving her quality of life for the future. Following the surgery, her physical transformation became impossible to ignore. Over time, Gabourey lost a significant amount of weight, and fans noticed dramatic changes in her face, body shape, and overall appearance during red carpet events and interviews. The woman once known for her fuller figure suddenly appeared slimmer, sharper, and almost unrecognizable compared to her early years in Hollywood. What made her transformation resonate emotionally was the honesty behind it. Gabourey spoke openly about the emotional and physical challenges of changing her lifestyle, while also making it clear that her confidence had never depended entirely on her size. That perspective separated her story from many celebrity makeover narratives focused purely on appearance. Rather than presenting herself as fixed after weight loss, she emphasized growth, health, and self-care. Her journey became less about conforming to beauty standards and more about taking control of her future. Today, Gabourey Sidibe's transformation continues to inspire discussion because it reflects something many people relate to personally: the difficult balance between self-acceptance, health, public judgment, and the pressure to constantly evolve under the spotlight. LaToya Jackson. LaToya Jackson grew up inside one of the most famous families in entertainment history. As a member of the legendary Jackson family, she spent much of her life surrounded by cameras, fame, and impossible public expectations. In the early years of her career, LaToya was known for her soft facial features, natural beauty, and glamorous stage presence. But as the decades passed, her appearance changed so dramatically that many fans struggled to recognize her. During the late 1980s and early 1990s, people began noticing visible differences in LaToya's face. Her nose appeared narrower, her jawline sharper, and her skin tone noticeably lighter compared to earlier years. Over time, the transformation became even more dramatic as repeated cosmetic procedures and evolving beauty trends altered the image audiences remembered from her younger years. Because Michael Jackson also experienced major appearance changes, public attention surrounding LaToya became even more intense. Many fans compared the siblings constantly, fueling endless speculation about surgery, family pressure, and the psychological effects of growing up under worldwide scrutiny. While LaToya rarely discussed every rumor directly, She acknowledged some cosmetic procedures throughout her career. What makes her transformation especially fascinating is the environment she grew up in. The Jackson family lived under extraordinary pressure from childhood onward, with appearance becoming part of public identity almost as much as talent itself. For LaToya, every physical change became headline material, turning her image into a permanent topic of conversation. At the same time, her transformation reflected a larger Hollywood reality. During the 1980s and 1990s, cosmetic surgery became increasingly common among celebrities facing constant pressure to maintain youth and perfection in front of cameras. For women especially, aging naturally often came with harsh criticism from both media and audiences. Today, LaToya Jackson's appearance remains one of the most discussed celebrity transformations of her generation. Some people see reinvention, others see the effects of fame and pressure, but nearly everyone agrees the difference between the young LaToya and the woman seen today is striking. Her story continues to resonate because it reflects how life inside one of the world's most famous families could transform not only careers, but identities and appearances as well. NeNe Leakes. NeNe Leakes became a reality television phenomenon through The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Loud, funny, fearless, and impossible to ignore, she quickly turned herself into one of the most recognizable personalities in reality TV history. In the early years, fans knew NeNe for her bold attitude, natural appearance, and larger-than-life confidence. But over time, her physical transformation became almost as talked about as her television drama. As NeNe's fame expanded beyond reality television into acting, fashion, hosting, and business ventures, her appearance evolved dramatically. Fans began noticing changes in her nose, jawline, cheeks, lips, and overall facial structure during red carpet appearances and television interviews. Her face appeared slimmer, more sculpted, and noticeably different from the woman audiences first met on television. Unlike some celebrities who avoided the conversation, NeNe openly admitted to certain cosmetic procedures, including nose surgery. She explained that some changes were connected to confidence and personal preference rather than insecurity. Even so, the transformation sparked constant online debate, especially because her look continued changing over the years. What made NeNe Leakes' evolution so attention-grabbing was how public it unfolded. Reality television creates a unique situation where audiences watch celebrities age and change in real time over many seasons. Fans could compare older episodes directly with newer appearances, making every physical difference more obvious and heavily discussed online. At the same time, NeNe's transformation reflected the enormous beauty pressure placed on women in entertainment, especially in television and social media culture. Looking younger, slimmer, and more polished often becomes part of staying relevant in a world where appearance constantly drives attention and headlines. Despite criticism and endless public commentary, NeNe continued embracing reinvention confidently. Her personality remained outspoken and dominant even as her look evolved dramatically. Today, NeNe Leakes represents more than just a reality TV star with cosmetic changes. Her transformation became part of a larger conversation about fame, aging, self-image, and how celebrity culture pushes public figures toward constant reinvention under the non-stop gaze of millions of viewers. Vybz Kartel. Vybz Kartel was once known as one of the most recognizable figures in dancehall music. With his sharp lyrics, controversial image, and undeniable influence on Jamaican culture, he became a dominant force in the genre during the 2000s. Fans instantly recognized him by his deep voice, tattoo-covered body, and dark complexion, which became part of his signature image. That is why the public reaction was so explosive when his appearance began changing dramatically around 2010. Almost overnight, photos surfaced showing Kartel with noticeably lighter skin. The transformation shocked fans across Jamaica and around the world because the difference was impossible to ignore. His complexion continued becoming paler, leading to intense public debate, criticism, and confusion. Eventually, Cartel openly admitted using skin bleaching products, even discussing the process publicly in interviews and music references. Unlike celebrities who denied obvious cosmetic changes, he confronted the controversy directly. What made the situation especially controversial was the cultural conversation surrounding skin bleaching in Caribbean communities. Many critics argued that Cartel's transformation reflected deeper social pressures connected to colorism and beauty standards, while supporters defended his right to control his own appearance however he wanted. The debate quickly expanded far beyond music and became part of a much larger discussion about identity, race, self-image, and influence. At the same time, Cartel's evolving appearance also included changing hairstyles, fashion choices, and extensive tattoos that made him look increasingly different from the artist fans first discovered years earlier. Even while serving prison time, his image remained one of the most talked-about subjects in dancehall culture. What makes Vybz Kartel's transformation so unforgettable is that it challenged people emotionally and culturally, not just visually. Fans were not simply reacting to a lighter complexion. They were reacting to the transformation of someone who had once represented a completely different image of masculinity and identity within dancehall music. Today, Vybz Kartel remains one of the most controversial and influential artists in Jamaican music history. But alongside his musical legacy, his appearance transformation continues to spark debate because it forced audiences to confront difficult questions about beauty, race, and public influence in modern celebrity culture. Lark Voorhees. During the 1990s, Lark Voorhees was considered one of television's brightest young stars. Best known for playing Lisa Turtle on Saved by the Bell, she became famous for her radiant smile, expressive personality, and natural beauty. For many fans, Lark represented the fun and youthful energy of an entire television era. But years later, when she reappeared publicly with a dramatically different appearance, audiences were stunned. As the 2000s progressed, fans began noticing significant changes in Lark's face during interviews and public appearances. Her skin tone looked different, her facial features appeared altered, and many people online speculated about cosmetic procedures or health issues. Public reaction became intense because the transformation felt so sudden compared to the image viewers remembered from her sitcom years. Eventually, Lark's mother publicly revealed that the actress had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, helping explain some of the emotional and personal struggles affecting her life behind the scenes. Discussions surrounding mental health quickly became part of the conversation about her appearance, especially as fans realized that many celebrities quietly battle psychological conditions while facing non-stop public scrutiny. What made Lark Voorhees' transformation especially emotional was the contrast between her early fame and later isolation from Hollywood. Unlike many stars who gradually evolve in the spotlight, Lark largely disappeared from mainstream entertainment before returning publicly in ways that surprised longtime fans. That sudden contrast made the changes feel even more dramatic. At the same time, her story reflected a larger issue within celebrity culture: how quickly audiences judge physical changes without fully understanding the private struggles behind them. Conversations about mental health, stress, aging, and public pressure became deeply connected to the way people viewed her transformation. Today, Lark Voorhees remains remembered not only as a beloved television star, but also as someone whose life revealed the darker side of fame after childhood success. Her transformation continues to resonate because it reminds people how easily public attention can shift from admiration to shock, especially when personal struggles unfold under the unforgiving spotlight of celebrity culture. Randy Jackson. For years, Randy Jackson was one of the most recognizable faces on television. As a longtime judge on American Idol, he became known for his laid-back personality, signature catchphrases, and larger physique that made him instantly familiar to millions of viewers every week. Audiences saw him as energetic, approachable, and full of charisma. But behind the scenes, Randy was quietly battling serious health problems that would eventually lead to one of the most dramatic celebrity transformations on television. In 2003, Randy Jackson revealed that he had been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. The condition became a turning point in his life. Doctors warned him that his health was at serious risk if he did not make major changes. At the time, Randy weighed well over 100 kilograms, and years of unhealthy habits had begun affecting his body in dangerous ways. Determined to regain control of his health, Randy underwent gastric bypass surgery in 2004. The results shocked fans almost immediately. Over time, he lost more than 50 kilograms, transforming from a heavy-set television personality into a much slimmer and noticeably leaner version of himself. His face became sharper, his frame dramatically smaller, and many longtime viewers barely recognized him during later appearances. What made Randy Jackson's transformation especially compelling was the emotional honesty surrounding it. He openly admitted that losing weight did not magically solve every personal struggle overnight. Maintaining the change required discipline, lifestyle adjustments, and constant awareness of his health. Rather than pretending the process was easy, he spoke candidly about how difficult long-term transformation can be physically and mentally. At the same time, Randy's new appearance sparked endless public conversation. Some fans praised his healthier lifestyle, while others were surprised by how different he looked compared to the man they remembered from the early American Idol years. Today, Randy Jackson's transformation stands as one of the most recognizable weight loss stories in entertainment. More importantly, it reflects how health scares can completely reshape a person's priorities, appearance, and identity. His journey became about far more than television fame. It became a story of survival, reinvention, and learning how to take control of a life that once seemed headed in the wrong direction. Grace Jones. Grace Jones never looked like anyone else in entertainment. From the very beginning of her career, she built an image based on fearlessness, sharp style, and complete unpredictability. As a singer, model, and actress, Grace became famous during the late 1970s and 1980s for her striking facial structure, dark skin, angular hairstyles, and androgynous fashion that challenged traditional beauty standards. Long before social media celebrated individuality, Grace Jones was already turning herself into a living work of art. What makes Grace's transformation so fascinating is that she changed constantly without ever completely losing her identity. Throughout different eras, she experimented with dramatic makeup, sculpted hairstyles, futuristic fashion, and extreme visual concepts that often made her appear almost alien compared to conventional celebrities of the time. Unlike stars who tried blending into mainstream beauty trends, Grace intentionally pushed herself further away from them. As the years passed, her appearance evolved in ways audiences often found shocking. Her body became leaner and more sculpted. Her facial features appeared even sharper under bold makeup and lighting, and her fashion choices grew increasingly theatrical. Some viewers saw elegance, others saw intimidation, but nobody ignored her presence. What separated Grace Jones from many celebrity transformation stories was control. Her changing appearance was not driven by scandal, illness, or public collapse. Instead, it was part of a deliberate artistic identity she carefully built over decades. She transformed herself repeatedly because reinvention became central to her power as a performer. Even as she aged, Grace refused to soften her image to fit traditional expectations surrounding women in entertainment. While many celebrities chased youth through subtle changes, Grace embraced dramatic visual evolution openly and unapologetically. That fearless attitude helped her remain culturally influential across multiple generations. Today, Grace Jones is still considered one of the most visually unforgettable entertainers in modern history. Her transformation story stands apart because it was never about becoming more acceptable. It was about becoming more unique. In an industry filled with celebrities trying to look perfect, Grace Jones became legendary by refusing to look like anyone else at all. Teddy Pendergrass. Before tragedy changed his life forever, Teddy Pendergrass was one of the most powerful and charismatic performers in R&B music. With his deep voice, commanding stage presence, and unmatched confidence, Teddy became a global sex symbol during the late 1970s and early 1980s. Songs like Love TKO, Turn Off the Lights, and Close the Door turned him into one of the biggest romantic voices of his generation. Fans knew him as strong, stylish, energetic, and magnetic on stage. That is why his transformation after 1982 shocked the world so deeply. On March 18, 1982, Teddy Pendergrass was involved in a devastating car accident in Philadelphia. His Rolls-Royce crashed into a tree, leaving him with a severe spinal cord injury that permanently paralyzed him from the chest down. Overnight, the man once known for powerful live performances and physical confidence suddenly faced a completely different reality. The transformation was dramatic not only physically, but emotionally. Teddy lost much of the muscular presence fans associated with his image. Confined to a wheelchair, his body became thinner and more fragile over time as he adjusted to life after paralysis. Public appearances carried a very different energy from the superstar audiences remembered during his peak years. What made Teddy's story especially emotional was the contrast between who he had been before the accident and the strength he showed afterward. Many celebrities disappear after life-changing trauma, but Teddy fought to rebuild his career and identity despite unimaginable challenges. He returned to recording music, performed publicly again, and became an advocate for people living with spinal cord injuries. At the same time, fans could still see traces of pain behind the resilience. The transformation was impossible to ignore because it represented the sudden loss of a life once filled with movement, freedom, and physical power. Yet rather than allowing the accident to completely define him, Teddy gradually transformed into a symbol of perseverance. Today, Teddy Pendergrass remains remembered not only for his legendary music, but also for the courage he displayed after tragedy struck. His story resonates deeply because it reminds audiences how quickly life can change in a single moment, and how true strength is often revealed only after everything familiar has been taken away. After seeing these transformations, one difficult question remains. Did fame and public pressure push these celebrities to change, or were these transformations simply part of survival, health, and personal choice? Some stars battled illness in silence. Others faced accidents, emotional trauma, or non-stop criticism about their appearance for years. Yet the internet often judged them before knowing the full story. Were these celebrities victims of Hollywood pressure, or did the spotlight simply expose struggles that already existed behind the scenes? We want to hear your honest opinion. Which transformation was the saddest, the most shocking, or the hardest to recognize? Share your thoughts in the comments below because your perspective could start an important conversation. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for Black Celebrity Secrets for more untold stories, hidden truths, and celebrity transformations the world still cannot stop talking about.